I don't remember what the name of it's called. I'll probably insert it here. But to get that, to focus on that width from the inside, so number one would be depth. So this one has helped me a lot in terms of definition, but also just overall growth. Before, when I would do calf raises, I would come down to like this angle, then come back up. Now I try to go as low as possible, depending on what machine I'm using. So if it's up to me, I'd rather have the heel touch the floor, or even just, just hover above the floor. So I'm getting that nice deep angle, and then on the way up, I'm almost overextending as far as possible. So you're just extending that range of motion. And I think a lot of people, when they're doing calf raises, they tend to not go as deep. Maybe they don't feel that comfortable. Maybe they don't have the ankle flexibility. Number two tip would be pausing at the bottom. Now, the video that I'm showing now, it actually doesn't look like I'm pausing, but I guess mentally I am. Like I know when all the momentum is stopped, and then that's when I'm continuing to go. So they're gonna see some reps where you can see the pause and some where you can't, but it's good to have a mental note of stopping all momentum on the way down so you can really drive forward instead of kind of getting in a bouncy situation where you're not really hypertrophy training anymore. It's more like you're training for athleticism. Tip number three would be increasing the weight. Obviously, your calves tend to be able to lift more weight than you think that they can, because you're walking on your calves all day. You're walking with your legs all day. When people do leg days, like they do deadlifts, they try to overlift oftentimes for ego. But I find that on calf raises, they don't actually push that weight because they might think that they're not capable of doing that, even though it's probably one of the strongest muscles in the body in terms of everyday use, right? So not being afraid to push yourself on that exercise, knowing that your body can actually, your calves can actually withstand a lot because it does every day. So next one is going to be Alex Hormozi said, and I said this in a previous video in terms of how I grew my chest, like in terms of going from a flat chest to like having tits pretty much. If you are lacking the ability to put on size in your calves, like it's genetically an issue, you just have to do it more often. So Alex Hormozi had this issue where he said that it was also a struggle muscle for him to put on muscle or to get gains from his calves. So all he did was just every single workout, whether it was upper body or lower body, the first exercise he would do was calf raises.
Calves were actually my weakest body part for a very long time. And I actually had a girlfriend say, why don't you train your calves? And I'd been training them for like 3 years. I did what Arnold did and started training them first every workout, and I've been doing it since.
Every time he went to the gym, he did them. And then now he has pretty big calves, right? As someone who never had it before. So the same thing with the chest video. If you know that you're struggling with calf gains, but you're getting chest gains, you're getting back gains, and the calves are just lagging behind, then you're gonna need to up the volume. You're gonna need to up the sets that you're doing to kind of make up for that lack, right? And for me, this one's my favorite. This one's my favorite. This is the angle at which you're doing the calf raise. So from the front of my calves, sometimes it looks very straight and you can't tell that I have big calves. So I actually always loved this angle. I love when you can see someone's calf from the front, but you can see the inner calf poking out. I don't remember what the name of it's called. I'll probably insert it here. But to get that, to focus on that width from the inside, you point your feet outwards when you're doing the calf raise. So imagine these are your feet when you're doing the calf raise, boom, boom, like this. So you invert it, and then you do it like this. So sometimes you're gonna have to adjust, because if you're standing on a platform to do it, your feet are gonna kind of want to slip off just because of the angle. So that's fine. But to get that nice look, there's a woman that I just found out yesterday. Her name is, I think it's Stefan. I could be butchering it, or Tiffany. It's Tiffany something. Her legs, her calves are fucking insane. And that's what I want my legs to look like. That's especially what I want my calves to look like. I'll insert pictures here as well. But you have to, again, part of that is genetics, but in terms of just focusing on that type of dimension, there's different angles that you can use. And I believe that hitting the outer calf is, having your feet outwards and kind of I look like an idiot. But I started doing that as well. And I noticed that from the front, my calf is starting to look a bit wider at certain angles. It's still not where I want it to be, but it's definitely helping. So